Officer Meisinger, I just called Robinson to ask whoever's in room 1 to hang up and wait for our call to come through.
All right, thank you. I was just gonna call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. You ready for Mr. Smith?
Yes, please.
That's good. You're right in. Smith, come on.
And P.O. Davis, can you hear us okay?
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Smith.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks. So we're all here, so we're gonna get started with your revocation hearing, okay?
Okay.
Good morning, I am P.O. Meisinger, a hearing examiner for the Board of Pardons and Paroles. This is a revocation hearing concerning Smith Uri number 431159. Today is June 17th, 2026. This hearing is being conducted via video at the BOPP Central Office in the Carl Robinson Correctional Institution. This is a public hearing and public access to the hearing is available via video live stream. Can you please state your full name and DOC inmate number for the record?
Uri Smith, 431159.
And we have a parole officer present today. Can you please identify yourself for the record?
Parole Officer Patrick Davis. I work in the Hartford District Office.
Thank you. We have counsel here today.
Sure. Attorney Alfonso Sirica from the Parole Revocation Unit on behalf of Mr. Smith.
This is a revocation hearing to determine whether you have violated conditions of your release. I will review and make findings of facts, each of the charges against you. The state, not you, has responsibility to prove the allegations by a preponderance of evidence. That is, the better weighted evidence must establish that more probable than not the allegation is true. If I do not find that there is a preponderance of evidence to support a violation of one or more conditions of your parole, I'll reinstate your parole, which means releasing you, place you back on parole supervision. If I find that you have violated one or more conditions of your parole, I will consider whether or not your parole should be revoked. If I recommend revocation, I'll make a recommendation as appropriate sanction, and my recommendation will be given to a panel for a final decision. If the panel wishes to impose a sanction beyond my recommendation, a supplemental hearing will be provided to justify additional confinement. So this is the procedure for today. I'm going to read you your rights. Then we will review the parole violation charge, state your PO is bringing against you. I will review and identify exhibits filed for the record. The state will then have an opportunity to present a relevant testimony. After the state is finished, counsel will have the same opportunity. After considering all of the evidence presented, I will announce my findings. If I find that you violated one or more conditions of your parole, the state will have an opportunity to speak to your background and history. After the state is finished, counsel will have the same opportunity. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
No questions.
Okay, important rights today, the right to have an attorney present, and you have counsel here. You have a right to receive the written notice of charges, the violation. Did you receive that written notice?
Yes.
You have a right to review the evidence against you before the hearing. You have a right to submit evidence in support of your case. At the hearing, you have a right to call and examine voluntary witnesses and cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights and are you ready to go forward?
Yes.
Okay, so we will now review the charge, state your parole officer is bringing against you, and information underlying each charge. So P.O. Davis, you could please read the charges as well as the addendum after.
All right. Obey all laws. Charge number 1, obedience to the law. On 01/11/2026 at 6:42 p.m., you were observed in a white Nissan Maxima traveling east on I-84 near exit 67, bearing CT registration AP 37937. You were observed by a Troop C Talon State Trooper changing lanes of travel for no reason. You were also not using your turn signal, and you were not maintaining proper lanes for extended periods of time. Your license plate came back canceled to a Pontiac Solstice. At this time, the trooper attempted to initiate a traffic stop with lights and sirens in the area of exit 68 in Tolland. You did not stop, instead increased your speed in an attempt in an attempt to elude the trooper. You then shut off all your lights to your vehicle and continued to drive recklessly through traffic. At this time, the trooper stopped the pursuit per policy. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes later, Troop C reported a 911 call referencing your vehicle in the area of exit 70. You elevated the need to apprehend as you were continuing reckless and dangerous behavior. Another trooper near exit 72, 73 in the town of Union started to engage in pursuit. After several seconds, you tried to exit on exit 74, left the roadway hitting a tree stump and flipping over on the exit ramp. You then proceeded to exit the vehicle and were running away from the scene. You were located hiding behind a metal guardrail approximately 300 meters from the vehicle's final rest. You had visible injuries to your face and hands, and you were soaking wet from running through the drainage ponds just off the exit ramp. Troopers also could smell alcoholic beverages emanating from the area of your face as you spoke. Troop C, Tolland, also later found out that you did not have a valid driver's license. Troopers had probable cause you were driving under the influence of alcohol. After a search of the vehicle, it was discovered that you had a large canvas bag with a large amount of suspected marijuana, which was packaged to be consistent with the sale and not for personal usage. Several containers of alcohol were also observed on the floorboards. You were then transported to Hartford Hospital by Wellington EMS. Subsequently, you were arrested by Troop C, Tolland, and held on a $100,000 bond for the following charges: CGS 14-227A, operating under the influence of alcohol and or drugs; 14-222 *, reckless speed over 85 miles per hour; 14-223 in parentheses B, double asterisk, engaging police in pursuit; 14-236, failure to drive in proper lane; 14-147C, misuse of registration plate; 14-213B, no insurance; 21A-279A1, possession of a controlled substance; 53A-64, reckless endangerment second; 53A-167, interfering and resisting; and 21A-278B, C1, illegal selling and manufacturing of cannabis over 8 ounces. You were due to appear in court at GA 19 Rockville, Monday, 01/12/2026 at 9 a.m. Your next court date, according to the state of Connecticut's judicial website, is 02/04/2026 under docket numbers T19R-CR26-0191161-S and TR19R-MV26-0278696-S. Charge number 2, drugs. On 01/11/2026, you were found to be in possession of 55 grams of suspected marijuana and several Ziploc bags, multiple containers of the Ziploc bags for suspected drug sales, 3 cereal milk, 3.5 gram packages of marijuana, and 1 Gary Payton 7 gram package of marijuana. You are not allowed to possess this amount of marijuana. Charge number 3, no consumption of alcoholic beverages. On 01/11/2026, Connecticut State Police had probable cause to believe you were driving a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol. You also had multiple alcohol containers on the floorboard of your vehicle. You have a no alcohol condition on your signed parole, special parole conditions, and shouldn't be drinking or possessing any alcohol. Charge number 4, halfway house placement. On 08/28/2025, you were placed at the Watkinson halfway house and signed a halfway house agreement, abide by the rules of the house. On 09/28/2025, you were given an instruction by halfway house staff to leave the basement and go to your room during visitation. You proceeded to come into the staff office and stated to staff while visitors were present, y'all do whatever the fuck y'all want, make up shit where in the book is that a rule. You were again instructed by halfway house staff to go to your room, and you stated, man, word on my mother, I don't give a fuck, send me back, y'all do whatever, dumb as fuck. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will treat others with respect and not engage in any verbal or physical altercations with supervised persons, staff, or third parties. On 10/19/2025 at 11:40 p.m., you were issued a pass to St. Francis Hospital to receive emergency medical care. Staff contacted the hospital to confirm your whereabouts and was told that you were not there. You returned to the halfway house at 3:34 a.m. with no discharge paperwork. You were unaccountable in the community for 3 hours and 50 minutes. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will not leave the physical confines of the halfway house unless authorized by program staff or parole. I will only go to the locations indicated by an approved community pass unless changes have been authorized by staff. On 10/28/2025, you were informed by halfway house staff that you were 2 weeks behind on substance. You proceeded to walk out of the staff office. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will save money and pay fees to the program as required. On 11/05/2025 at 6:15 p.m., you were issued a pass to go to St. Francis Hospital for medical treatment. Staff contacted the hospital to check your whereabouts. It was discovered that you left the hospital at 6:45 p.m. and returned at 12:36 a.m. for treatment. You were unaccountable in the community for approximately 4 hours. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will not leave the physical confines in the halfway house unless authorized by program staff or parole. I will only go to the locations indicated on an approved community pass unless changes have been authorized by staff. On 11/13/2025, halfway house staff attempted to have another conversation with you regarding overdue subsistence and provide you with a payment plan. You refuse to sign the payment plan or pay subsistence. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will save money and pay fees to the program as required. On 11/15/2025, you signed out of the halfway house on a work pass at 7:33 a.m. and returned at 6:41 p.m. When staff called your employer to confirm your work hours on 11/20/2025, it was discovered that you did not report to work on this day. You were unaccountable in the community for 11 hours and 8 minutes. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will not leave the physical confines of the halfway house unless authorized by program staff or parole. I will only go to the locations indicated on an approved community pass unless changes have been authorized by staff. On 11/22/2025, you walked out of the halfway house without authorization at 7:30 a.m. and returned at 6:24 p.m. You did not have permission from either halfway house staff nor your parole officer to leave the house. You were unaccountable in the community for approximately 11 hours. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will not leave the physical confines in the halfway house unless authorized by program staff or parole. I will only go to the locations indicated by an approved community pass unless changes have been authorized by staff. On 11/24/2025, you walked out of the halfway house at 12:04 p.m. without authorization. You did not return 12/04/2025. You were unaccountable in the community for 11 days. This is a violation of your signed halfway house agreement. Specifically, I will not leave the physical confines in the halfway house unless authorized by program staff or parole. I will only go to the locations indicated on an approved community pass unless changes have been authorized by staff. Charge number 5, no driving. On 01/11/2026, you were observed by Connecticut State Police troopers driving a white Nissan Maxima that was unregistered. You also don't have a valid driver's license. At no time did this parole officer give you permission to drive a motor vehicle. You were aware of this instruction based on your signed special parole additional conditions.
Okay, and can you please read the addendum that was submitted?
Sure. All right, the addendum I submitted, Mr. Smith was arrested by Troop C on 01/11/2026, Holland, and held on a $100,000 bond for the following charges. CGS 14-227A, operating under the influence of alcohol and or drugs, guilty, sentenced to 90 days jail, 05/11/2026. CGS 14-222 Astertic, reckless speed over 85 miles per hour. That was nollied on 05/11/2026. CGS 14-223B, double asterisk, engaging police in a pursuit was nollied 05/11/2026. CGS 14-236, failure to drive in proper lane was nollied 05/11/2026. CGS 14-147C, misuse of registration plate was nollied 05/11/2026. CGS 14-213B, no insurance was nollied 05/11/2026. CGS 21A-279A1 in parentheses, possession of a controlled substance was nollied 05/11/2026. CGS 53A-64, reckless endangerment second was nollied 05/11/2026. CGS 53A-167, interfering and resisting, guilty, sentenced to 90 days jail, 05/11/2026. CGS 21A-278BC1, illegal selling and manufacturing of cannabis over 8 ounces was nollied 05/11/2026. Mr. Smith appeared in court at Rockville GA 19 on 05/11/2026 under docket numbers T19R-CR26-0191161-S and T19R-MV26-0278696-S. BOPP may proceed with revocation. It appears on docket number T19R-MV26-0286696-S. Mr. Smith owes a $500 fine.
Right, thank you very much. And the state is all the following exhibits that are pre-marked for identification as Exhibit A, signed statement of understanding, agreement, conditions of parole. B, Raymond actual custody order. C, parole violation report notice and parole rights. D, parole violation report. E, police report case ending in 11824, Connecticut State Police Troop C, Holland. F, BOPP Rev hearing summary. G, BOPP decision information summary. H, local news article. WFSB. I, sign offender misconduct reports. J, offender incident reports from Watkinson Halfway House. K, residential disciplinary reports from Watkinson Halfway House. L, Community Solutions Inc. abscond report from Watkinson Halfway House. M, sign Halfway House agreement form. N, Community Solutions Adult Work Release Department of Corrections client handbook. And O is State of Connecticut District Branch criminal and motor vehicle printout. Did you receive notice of parole violation report, and those other documents I marked, and did you review them?
Yes.
Okay. And council's follow the following exhibit that is pre-marked for identification, Defense Exhibit 1, which is a list of parole accomplishments and future plans for parole reinstatement. Do you need to continue this hearing to obtain any additional evidence?
I do not. Could we make a correction? I didn't want to interrupt P.O. Davis there regarding the addendum. Everything he put on the record, I agree with. All the charges were nollied, but the one charge of operating under the influence, one charge of interfering. Just so the record is clear, there is no outstanding $500 that my client owns. That fine was remitted at the time of sentencing on May 11th of 2026. I'm not sure if P.O. Davis had access to that or not, but I just want to make sure the record, there is no outstanding $500 that Mr. Smith owes to the state of Connecticut.
All right, thank you. Okay, so at this time, I am going to do the oath so that both of you may speak. So Mr. Smith and P.O. Davis, can you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear, solemnly affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, 5 penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Okay, so at this time, the state will have an opportunity. If you'd like to call witnesses, present evidence, and speak to any of the evidence submitted at this time, you may.
All right. This was a very serious case where Mr. Smith was charged with 10 criminal and motor vehicle violations. He was remanded on January 11th, 2026. I talked with troopers the night of the incident at length. Mr. Smith put hundreds of people, innocent people, at risk and in danger on the highway for really no apparent reason. It was self-reported by a family member to me that he was headed to the Patriots game. He did not have permission by me to drive, and he did not have permission by me to go out of state. The case made multiple news outlets, which is worth noting. I also want to say it should be noted that when I went to serve Mr. Smith at HCC, he took no accountability for his actions. He actually stated that it was the trooper's fault that put him in this incident. I don't think he's ready yet himself or the public for him to be out in the community. He was he was supervised by me for less than 1 month and committed these crimes. He also just received a disciplinary report for fighting on 7 days ago on 6/10/2026 at Carl Robinson.
We'll just speak to the charges currently. Any
Okay.
additional information, we can talk about the second part, but just regarding the charges at this time.
Okay. All right. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll turn it over to council.
Yes. P.O. Davis, just a couple of quick questions.
Sure.
You said he was under your supervision for approximately a month. How many times did you actually meet with Mr. Smith during your period of supervision?
At the initial intake, and then I saw him once more, so twice in a 3 or
Okay.
4 week period.
All right. Do you know who the parole officer at the time that was assigned to the halfway house was? Was it P.O. Stickles?
Yeah, I'm looking here. It looks like P.O. Stickles, but it looks like he was at Renaissance East in Waterbury. And if that was the case, it would have been Parole Officer Babbage.
Okay.
But Stickles has supervised him in the past, yes.
Okay. So regarding charge 1, charge 2, and charge 3, I think that was dealt with in court. I know the comments P.O. Davis just made, but my client did plead guilty to those charges. So he did take accountability for what occurred despite the comments that were made. Obviously, there's a guilty plea in court, and in order for that to happen, client needs to take accountability for that, which Mr. Smith did do that. Regarding the incidents at the halfway house, starting with the September 28th, 2025 incident where my client was in a waiting room and was told, was in the basement and was told to go into his room during visitation time. Mr. Davis, I'm sorry, can mix them up. Mr. Smith, do you recall what happened that day on that incident on September 28th of 2025?
Yes. So while I was in the basement, she told me to go to my room, and the basement is the workout area. So at the time, I didn't really understand why I had to go back to my room. So I went upstairs to the office and I asked, do you know why I have to go back to my room? Because they never told me to go back to my room from the weight room, working out room. So she was like, yeah, they're having visiting hours right now. So I'm like, okay, do you know when the visiting hours are over? She said, when they're over. And all right, no problem. And I went to my room. I never had no back and forth, or I never was rude, disrespectful to her, nothing. None of those words were said, nothing. So I don't know.
Okay. That's what your testimony, that's what occurred on that day.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. The incident on October 19th of 2025, when you were issued the pass to go to hospital, it looks like at 11:40 p.m. to St. Francis Hospital. Did you actually go to the hospital that day?
Yes, I actually went to the hospital.
Okay. And what occurred? Could you let the hearing examiner know what occurred while you were waiting to be seen?
I went to the hospital, and while I was sitting there, the lady told me that it might be a little while waiting. So I was sitting there probably about for like an hour or so. In the back of my head, I know I'm in the halfway house, so I know that I'm really on like a time management kind of thing. And the longest I'm out, the more worried they are or aware. So I went back up to her after that hour, and I asked the lady, do you know how long it's going to take? She told me she doesn't know. She's not sure, because that same night, I don't know if you guys were aware, but there was 3 casualties that happened that night. So I don't know if the hospital was busy or what was going on. So I was just sitting there. So at the time kept going by, time kept going by. I was never admitted. No one ever came to see me. So I just left and I went back to the halfway house. When I got back to the halfway house, I informed that to staff and they were like, okay, once Stickles comes in, you have to talk to Stickles. And when Stickles came in, me and Stickles had a conversation and she told me that I was good. I was all set. There was no problem.
Right.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. So from the hospital, you went back to the halfway house, they contacted Stickles and you told her exactly what occurred, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The incident on October 28th regarding you not paying up the fees for the halfway house, do you recall the conversation you had with them? And did you admit to them that you were behind and you were willing to pay?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The next one occurs on November 5th, but where were you from October 30th to approximately November 5th?
October 30th to November 5th, I was in the hospital and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Okay. And you were at Middlesex Hospital first?
Yep.
And then were you in another hospital after that?
I went to Middlesex. They discharged me from Middlesex and the staff at the halfway house picked me up. As soon as I got back to the halfway house, I threw up. I wasn't feeling good. I was dizzy, could barely walk, and a couple of the symptoms were coming back. So I was then transferred back. Well, not back to Middlesex, but they transferred me to St. Francis.
Okay, so the incident that occurred on November 5th at 6:15 p.m., that was the same day you were released from Middlesex Hospital?
Yes.
Okay. And once again, on November 13th, the incident with they try to have a conversation with you regarding the money owed to rent. This one was after you were in the hospital and you were currently not working at the time. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I wasn't, when I got out the hospital, I didn't work for about like 2 weeks.
All right. The incident on November 15th of 2025. I know you and I discussed this. Do you remember what day of the week November 15th was?
On a Saturday.
Okay. Do you work on Saturdays?
I don't usually work on Saturday, but I picked up some extra hours on that Saturday.
Okay. And they claim the halfway house is written that you didn't go to work that day. They called your employer and you checked with the person you were working for and asked them if they ever called them. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, my boss said no one from the halfway house contacted them.
Okay. And did you let the halfway house staff know that your boss indicated they never called them?
I told them that, and it was like one in one ear and one out the other.
All right. The last two, November 22nd and November 24th, through our conversation, Mr. Smith, you did admit you did leave the halfway house because of the medical needs, but did you at any point in time discuss this with P.O. Stickles at the P.O. from the halfway house?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything else to add regarding the first part of the hearing. As I indicated, I know the charges speak for themselves in court. My client did plead guilty to those charges. All the charges were nollied. I'm not minimizing what happened here, but from being in court for close to 20 years, G819 has a reputation of being a very hard court, difficult court. And we can see from the sentence here, my client received 90 days on each count concurrent, and the remaining charges were nollied. So that's all I have for the first part of the hearing. I do want to be heard about his background at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Is there anything else further from the state before I make or announce my findings?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So I'll be right with you with my findings. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to announce my findings in regards to those charges. So regarding charge 1, I do find you violated conditional bail laws, obedience to the law, based on your conviction of operating under the influence and received a sentence of 90 days jail and interfering, resisting, and sentenced to 90 days jail. This is also based on exhibits A, D, E, and H. Regarding the charges of reckless speeding, engaging police in pursuit, and reckless endangerment. Second, I do make a finding on these charges, although they were nollied. I do find the behaviors meet the elements of the charges. Regarding charges, failure to drive in proper lane, misuse of plates, and no insurance, no finding, as those are infractions. And I do not make a finding on the charges of possession of controlled substance and illegal sell, manufacture cannabis due to the behavior not meeting the elements. Regarding charge 2, obey all laws, drugs, and making no finding due to the charge not meeting the elements. Regarding charge 3, I find you violated additional condition, no consumption of alcoholic beverages. This is based on evidence provided in support of the charge, exhibits A and E, as well as the conviction for operating under the influence of alcohol. Regarding charge 4, I find you violated additional condition, halfway house placement, based on evidence provided in support of that charge, which exhibits A, M, N, I, J, K, and L. Regarding charge 5, I do find you violated additional condition, no driving, based on evidence provided in support of the charge, exhibits A and E. So that includes the fact-finding portion of this hearing. Before I make a recommendation, the state will have an opportunity to speak to your background and history. After the state is finished, council will have the same opportunity. This purpose part of the hearing is to help determine what outcome I will recommend. So at this time, P.O. Davis, would you like to say anything for the second part of the hearing?
Yeah, I'm very happy to hear that there was some accountability on Mr. Smith's part. I am aware of his medical issues. That's very unfortunate. The DR for fighting on 06/10/2026 is a bit concerning. That being only 7 days ago. And then the positive here that I have is he was working, and his residence where he lived with his sister seemed supportive, and his sister seems very supportive as well. That's all I have.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to council.
Yes, on behalf of Mr. Smith, and I appreciate you, P.O. Davis, putting that on the record. I understand, you were supervising him, but I did speak to him a few times. He just so the record is clear, he did take accountability for what happened. My client is only 25 years old. I'm not making excuses for him, but he's got a lot to learn, and he's still young at the age of 25, in my opinion. He was born in Jamaica. He does receive family support from his mother, his brothers, and his sisters, some extended family. Upon his previous release, he was at the Community Solutions Halfway House program, the Watkinson House in Hartford. Then it looks like December of 2025, he was at the Connecticut Renaissance East in Waterbury. Then he was sponsored by his sister, as P.O. Davis indicated, until he was remanded. He did indicate to us back in 2022 he did successfully complete Open Earth Halfway House in Hartford. Then he was sponsored by his girlfriend, and then he was sponsored by one of his friends. He did obtain, looks like in 2023, his OSHA 30 certification through his job, J&L Precision Cleaning, and he obtained that certificate in Hartford. As far as his employment, it appears the last time he, J&L Precision Cleaning in Hartford is where he was working, and at a part-time job at People's Choice in Hartford for approximately a year. Also worked at Laser Ship in East Hartford. And while he was working there, once they ran his background, that employment terminated. But it seems to me, since when he's out in the community, he's always had steady employment. He does receive medical care, is indicated because of his diagnosis of MS. Since he's been incarcerated, he did report to us, he's employed as a chairman at Robinson, and he does receive his medical care at UConn Health. As P.O. Davis already indicated, he indicated to us is his sister. We provided you with an address and a phone number. He does want to enroll in trade school to study plumbing. And he does want to obtain his OSHA 60, which is the next level up from the 30. And he's indicated to us he can't return to his full-time J&L position cleaning. Mr. Smith, anything you want to add about your background or what you heard that I commented on, which your parole officer commented on? Not about the charges, that has already been dealt with, but anything about your background and what you want to do when you get out. This is your opportunity to add to this.
Yeah, I just want to, well, speaking on what P.O. Davis said about the fighting situation, I was actually assaulted, so it's not really like I'm here looking for trouble. I'm here trying to get my mind right, you know. Look, I'm looking forward to get back to the real world and do what I have to do, become a better person. But really speaking on my behalf, I take full responsibility, accountability for my actions, and understand that what I did was wrong. I sincerely apologize and accepted the consequences of my decisions. Since being incarcerated again, I have reflected on my mistakes, and I am committed to making better choices.
McHugh, you have one lobby, McHugh.
And moving forward in a positive and law-abiding way. And that's pretty much really what I have to say.
Thank you. I appreciate your statements. Is there anything else from either party?
I do not have anything else.
I do not have anything else.
Thank you. So I will be with you shortly, my recommendation. I do want to ask Mr. Smith, do you have a problem with alcohol or any type of illicit substances?
No, no, no.
Right, so I have reviewed all the evidence that was submitted by the state as well as council, and I've listened to testimony today. There are some things that I am going to put on the record. You were in the community approximately 4.5 months before you were returned to custody, in which you received new serious. This was a serious incident, obviously, as was stated by your parole officer. It did put the community as well as yourself in severe danger. You received a new conviction for operating under the influence of alcohol as well as interfering, resisting, and there were findings made on other charges as well. You completed this sentence of the 90 days jail as of the 5/11/26. There are 2 prior criminal violations on this period of special parole supervision, which was noted. It is similar behavior to what you are in for now at this time. So there has been a pattern of the same type of dangerous behavior, which is a serious concern. As well as it appears you are non-compliant in the community since your release on 8/28/25 to the community that led up to this incident. Your officer recommended 12 to 18 months incarceration. I was happy to hear as well as your officer stated that there was some type of accountability. Because I believe that's important for you before you can move forward and hopefully change your behavior. So I do hope that you take and think about what you've done, because it is extremely serious and a lot of people as well as yourself could have been killed in this incident. So based on the information that I have, I am going to recommend that your parole be revoked and that you be re-paroled for April 12th of 2027, which is approximately 15-month period of incarceration. I recommend the following parole conditions: no consumption of alcoholic beverages, no contact with your co-defendant, Cameron Mathis and Eli Jordan, mental health evaluation and treatment deemed necessary, as was operation of motor vehicle. My findings are going to the parole board on July 2nd. So if the board wants to let you out sooner, they may. They can let you out anytime sooner. As of 7/2, they may let you out. That's the soonest date. Anytime in between, and just know that they can max out your special parole. You're on parole till March of 2029. So just know that that is an option. I hope that you think about your actions while you're in it before you come out, and that you make better choices out there. So you will get this in writing. What the board's decision is about a week after July 2nd. I believe you can also talk to your attorney.
May I have that date? It's April 17th of 27?
April 12th, April 12th of 27. Yeah, there was a year sanction on the last violation, so I believe that this amount is my recommendation.
All right,
So
so
is there any
Yuri,
questions, sir?
no, I just want to explain. Yuri, so it's going to the board on July 2nd. She indicated you and I will get something in writing. If they don't agree with this and they reject it, there's a possibility to be another hearing. I'll set up a legal call with you. Any questions after we get the report, you know how to get a hold of me and we can discuss it.
All right.
All right.
Do you
All
have any
right. Good luck
questions
to you.
at this moment?
No questions.
Okay, so you're all set, sir. Wish you the best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pio.
Yeah,
Good day.
have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Theo Davis, we'll see you later.
Yeah, but around 11, maybe, probably a little later now for Wilfredo.
No, 11.
11? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Thank you, Meisinger.
Have a good day. I'd like to go on the record regarding Clinton Prentice, number 414870's preliminary hearing has been continued per request of his counsel. This date of continuance is the next hearing date of July 14th, 2026. Regarding inmate George Figueroa, number 192694's preliminary hearing has been waived by counsel, and his revocation hearing will be scheduled upon disposition of pending charges.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I was not aware of any video courts or anything scheduled today. I don't
We
have
have
a
a
list.
parole, we have a parole hearing, for
Just-
Mr. Highsmith.
For who?
Highsmith,
Highsmith?
yes, his number is 397793.
793. Yeah, I don't have anything on my schedule, so it might be a minute.
That's okay. I have to see him, so that's fine.
Okay, just the one, right?
Yes, he's the only one.
Okay.
Thank you. Attorney Dean, can you hear me okay?
Yes, good morning.
Perfect. Okay, good morning.
Gonna move this laptop to the other room.
Oh,
I didn't even think of that.
yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Just knocking this over when you're done. All right.
Morning, Mr. Highsmith.
Good morning.
Morning. Attorney Dean, are you there?
How you doing?
Yes.
Good
morning.
day. Perfect. All right, we're all here. So we are going to get started with your revocation hearing, okay?
Yes.
Good morning, I'm P.O. Meisinger, a hearing examiner for the Board of Pardons and Paroles. This is a revocation hearing starting Highsmith Trevon number 397793. Today is June 17th, 2026. This hearing is being conducted via video at the BLPP Central Office in McDougall Walker Correctional Institution. This is a public hearing. Public access to the hearing is available via video live stream. Please state your full name and DOC inmate number for the record.
Trayvon Highsmith, 397793.
And you have counsel here today. Can you please identify yourself for the record?
Yes, Hannah Deed on behalf of Mr. Highsmith.
This is a revocation hearing to determine whether you have violated conditions of your release. I will review and make findings of fact as each of the charges against you. The state, not you, has responsibility to prove the allegations by a preponderance of evidence, that is. The better weighted evidence must establish that more probable than not the allegation is true. If I do not find that there is a preponderance of evidence to support a violation of one or more conditions of your parole, I'll reinstate your parole, which means release you and place you back on parole supervision. If I find that you have violated one or more conditions of your parole, I will consider whether or not your parole should be revoked. If I recommend revocation, I'll make a recommendation as to appropriate sanction, and my recommendation will be given to a panel for a final decision. If the panel wishes to impose a sanction beyond my recommendation, a supplemental hearing would be provided to justify additional confinement. So this is the procedure for today. I'm going to read you your rights. Then we will review the parole violation charge, the state your PO is bringing against you. I will review and identify exhibits filed for the record. Counsel will then have an opportunity to present a relevant testimony. After considering all of the evidence presented, I'll announce my findings. If I find that you have violated one or more conditions of your parole, counsel will have an opportunity to speak to your background and history. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
Yes.
You have a question? Go ahead.
No question.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to read you your rights now. You have the right to have an attorney present. You have counsel here. You have a right to receive the written notice of charges of violation. Did you receive the written notice?
Yes.
You have a right to review the evidence against you before the hearing. You have a right to submit evidence for your case at the hearing. You have a right to call and examine voluntary witnesses, cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights, and are you ready to go forward?
Yes.
So we will now review the charge, state your PO is bringing against you, and the information underlying each charge. Charge 1, release direction reporting. Your charging officer reported on 2/17/26. He failed to report to the New Haven District Office as instructed. This officer attempted to contact you via your phone and sponsor with negative results. On 2/18/26, he spoke with this officer via phone. You were instructed to report to the New Haven District Office on 2/19/26. On 2/19/26, he failed to report to the New Haven Parole Office as instructed. Charge 2, under Obeah laws, obedience to the law. Your charging officer reported on 2/4/26, you're involved in a dispute with your girlfriend in a vehicle. You punched her in the face with a closed fist and then punched her over 5 times before leaving the scene. Hamden PD issued a warrant for your arrest with the following new charges of assault third and breach of peace. On 2/6/26, you're involved in a dispute with your girlfriend. You broke into her home, assaulted her several times by punching her in the face. As a result, the New Haven PD issued a warrant for your arrest with the following new criminal charges: assault third, criminal mischief third, burglary second, and breach of peace second degree. You're scheduled to appear for the New Haven GA 23 court under docket ending in 4704-S for the aforementioned charges. And the state has filed the following exhibits that are pre-marked for identification as Exhibit A, Connecticut Conditions of Parole; B, Connecticut Board of Parole Remand to Custody Order; C, Notice of Parole Violation, Parole Rights; D, Parole Violation Report; E, New Haven, West Haven, Police Reports and Warrants; F, CT Judicial Pending Case Detail; and G, BOPP Decision Summary. Did you receive the Notice of Parole Violation Report, and those other documents I marked, and did you review those?
Yes.
Okay. And PCFs also submitted an addendum, and the addendum stated on 5/1/26, the subject went before the Meriden GA 7 court for dockets ending in 3131-S for the following charges of assault third and breach of peace. He's found guilty of assault third and was sentenced to 4 months jail. The remaining charge and breach of peace was nollied. On 5/26/26, the subject went before the New Haven GA 23 court under docket ending in 47-4-S for assault third, criminal mischief third, burglary second, and breach of peace second. The charges were all sub to assault third and criminal mischief third. He was found guilty of assault third and criminal mischief third and sentenced to 11 months jail, execution suspended, 2 years probation for both charges. And council has filed the following exhibit pre-marked for identification, Defense Exhibit 1, which is a list of parole accomplishments and future plans for parole reinstatement. Do you need to continue this hearing to obtain any additional evidence?
We do not.
Okay. We have no witnesses today, so is now defense's opportunity. If you would like to call witnesses, present evidence, and speak to any of the evidence submitted at this time, you may.
Thank you. Just briefly as to the charges, I do just want to note that the addendum as stated is accurate. My client just received the 4-month flat sentence out of GA 7 on that misdemeanor assault charge, and the remaining count in that case was nullied. And out of GA 23, he did receive the 2 concurrent suspended sentences also on misdemeanor charges, and the more serious charge in that matter was also nullied. As to the charge of reporting, I do just think it's relevant to note my client did turn himself in on this violation on 3/2/26. He was under the impression that if he turned himself in on the prior Friday, that he would have to sit at the police barracks in county over the weekend until he made the docket for arraignment. However, he didn't realize that he could at that point potentially have been brought to county. He was under the impression he would have been sitting at like HPD all weekend. So I will just note though, however, he did do the right thing by turning himself in. And I would like at the appropriate time to speak to his background. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll be right with you with my findings. I do want to note the EOS date on the 4-month sentence is August 28th of 26, with a parole eligibility date 6/27/26 on the new sentence on the new convictions. So I am going to announce my findings in regards to the charges. So on that charge 1, I do find you violated that condition of least direction reporting based on evidence provided in support of the charge, exhibits A and D, as well as testimony. Regarding charge 2, I do find you violated condition, obey all laws, obedience to the law. Based on your conviction of assault third and received a sentence of 4 months jail, and assault third and criminal mischief third and sentenced to 11 months, execution suspended 2 years probation. Also based on exhibits that A, D, and E. Regarding the charges of breach of peace second, I do make a finding on those charges in regards to the 2/4/26 date. As the behavior meets the elements of that charge, there is a no finding on the burglary second, as the behavior doesn't meet the elements. So that includes the fact-finding portion of this hearing. Before I make a recommendation, council will have an opportunity to speak to your background and history. This purpose part of the hearing is to help determine what outcome I will recommend. So if you would like to at this time.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Highsmith is 31 years old, born and raised in New Haven. He does have a strong support system, including his grandmother, grandfather, godmother, aunts, uncles, cousins, and several neighbors. He also does receive support from his grandparents' church community in New Haven. Upon release to community release in November of 2024, he successfully completed Roger Sherman Halfway House. He was then sponsored by his cousin at an address in New Haven. He was working full-time for B&J Landscaping out of Hamden, and prior to that, he did have experience working in the restaurant industry. He reports speaking to a private licensed therapist for approximately 7 months while in the community and was on a minimum contact schedule with Parole. Beginning in June of this year, I believe June 2nd, he got signed up and started participating in DV programming through the McDougall Walker Correctional Institution twice a week. I don't believe that was something that he was required to do. It was something that he got into on his own because he wants to move forward and better himself. He has never, based on my records, ever had a DR while incarcerated. He does follow the rules and is a good inmate. He doesn't get in trouble. Upon reinstatement of parole supervision, my client would like to be sponsored by his aunt at the address we provided. Should he be placed at a halfway house, he would ask for the New Haven jurisdiction due to the proximity to his family. He is interested in learning more about construction. He is also able to return to his landscaping position. He is open to all treatment recommended, including doing DV programming and also re-engaging with his therapist. And he also hopes to continue attending his church and continuing his relationship with that community. I am asking that you would consider a re-parole date for my client no later than July of this year. He does only have a few months left on supervision and can certainly benefit from the assistance parole can provide in getting him back on his feet once he is released. Additionally, as I mentioned, I do believe he turned himself in on this. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will be with you shortly with a recommendation. All right, so I am gonna make a recommendation after, I'm just gonna put a few things on the record that I've looked at. I've reviewed all the evidence submitted by the state, listened to testimony today. You were in the community approximately a year and 3 months on discretionary parole supervision. You do have 4 years probation to follow this sentence. You did receive 2 new convictions, which were both domestic violence related, and it was noted by PCS that so the same victim in 48 hours that was attacked. So that is extremely concerning while on parole, that you're out there and this behavior occurs not just once but twice in a very short period of time. Your officer recommended revoke of all parole. You did receive the new convictions for assault, third, and received that new sentence of 4 months and with additional 2 years probation. Based on the information that I have, I'm going to recommend that parole be revoked and that you remain incarcerated until your end of sentence date of 12/11/26, which is an approximate 9-month sanction. I do notice that you are involved in DV, so I encourage you to finish that program at this time. I'm going to present this to the parole board on July 2nd. So if the board would like to release you earlier, they may. They can release you as soon as July 2nd. That's the soonest they can release you. They can release you anytime in between up until your EOS date. You will get this in writing about a week after July 2nd from the board, letting you know the board's decision, as well as conditions if they do want to re-release you back into the community. Do you have any questions?
No.
Sir, I'll set up a call with you so that we can chat and kind of debrief everything, okay?
All right.
Okay, best of luck, sir. You are all set for today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Attorney Dean. Have a good day.
Bye.
Morning.
Hey, how are you? Yes, Mr.
Good.
Davis, he's
Yeah.
at court. He's at court today.
Oh, he's at court today?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Have a good day.
All right.
Regarding inmate Davis Jamil, number 294-905, preliminary hearing has been continued to the next available hearing date of July 14th, 2026, as the offender is unable to attend the hearing due to being at court. Regarding inmate Jeffrey Williams, number 254-399, preliminary hearing has been waived by counsel. His revocation hearing will be scheduled upon disposition of pending charges. Good morning.
Good morning. What, are you looking for
Prince?
Mr. Prince?
Yes, please.
All right, he'll be down momentarily.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. No, y'all know about that good dude Lloyd, right? Yeah. What? Who's the one that was supposed to come for the No, not the laptop. The guy that just came in, the one that's DOC. Yeah, he came in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he been down here. He's in the video visit room waiting, but he been down there like. All right, good looks. It's a door and all that, right? He's done. He's close behind you.
Good morning, Mr. Prince.
Yes, ma'am.
How you doing?
Good.
We're here today for your revocation. You a chair in there?
I can. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, have a seat. All right, so we're gonna get started with your hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, I am P.O. Meisinger, hearing examiner for the Board of Pardons and Paroles. This is a revocation hearing concerning Prince Brandon, number 430521. Today is June 17th, 2026. This hearing is being conducted via video at the BLPP Central Office in Hartford Correctional Center. This is a public hearing and public access to the hearing is available, be video live stream. Please state your full name and DOC inmate number for the record.
Brandon Prince, 430521.
This is a revocation hearing to determine whether you have violated conditions of your release. I will review and make findings of fact as to each of the charges against you. The state, not you, has responsibility to prove the allegations by a preponderance of evidence, that is. The better weighted evidence must establish that more probable than not the allegation is true. If I do not find that there is a preponderance of evidence to support a violation of one or more conditions of your parole, I'll reinstate your parole, which means release you and place you back on parole supervision. If I find that you have violated one or more conditions of your parole, I will consider whether or not your parole should be revoked. If I recommend revocation, I'll make a recommendation as to appropriate sanction, and my recommendation will be given to a panel for a final decision. If the panel wishes to impose a sanction beyond my recommendation, a supplemental hearing will be provided to justify additional confinement. So this is the procedure for today. I'm going to read you your rights. Then we will review the parole violation charge the state your PO is bringing against you. I will review and identify exhibits filed for the record. You will then have an opportunity to present all relevant testimony. After considering all of the evidence presented, I will announce my findings. If I find you violated one or more conditions of your parole, you will have an opportunity to speak to your background and history. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you have important rights today, the right to have an attorney present. Would you like to continue without counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to receive the written notice of charges of the violation. Did you receive the written notice?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to review the evidence against you before the hearing. You have a right to submit evidence in support of your case. At the hearing, you have a right to call and examine voluntary witnesses and cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights and are you ready to go forward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so now we will review the charge that the state, your parole is bringing against you and information underlying each charge. So charge one, obey all laws, obedience to the law. Your charging officer reported on 3/20/26 you were involved in an incident at the Big Y store located in Holland, Connecticut. You were reported to police for shoplifting and subsequently were charged with Connecticut General Statute 53A 125A. In the state, it's filed the following exhibits that are pre-marked for identification as Exhibit A, conditions of parole. B is remand to actual custody. C is notice of parole violation. D, parole violation report. E, state of Connecticut pending case detail. F, CSP incident report, and G is decision information summary. Did you receive notice of parole violation report, and those other documents that I just marked, and did you review those?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I also received an addendum from PCS. The addendum states on 3/20/26, Brandon Prince was arrested by CSP Troop C for a charge of shoplifting, 53A 125A larceny, 5th degree. On docket ending in 1410-S. He was sentenced on 4/6/26 on the above docket and pled guilty to larceny 5th degree and received a sentence of unconditional discharge. Now, do you need to continue this hearing to obtain any additional evidence?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we have no witnesses today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swear you in under oath today so you can testify on your behalf. So can you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear, sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God upon penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now is your opportunity to respond to the parole violation charges against you. However, remember that you may remain silent if you so choose. At this time, you may testify regarding your case. Would you like to? You can put your hand down now. Would you like to say anything in regards to that charge?
I just want to say that I am guilty of that charge. I did what they have charged me with. I did shoplift from Big Y. I deeply do regret that, but I can't go back in the past. And I just want, I just can move forward now and do better.
Thank you for your statement. So I'll be right with you with my findings. So regarding that charge one, I do find you violated that condition, obey all laws, obedience to the law. This is based on your conviction of larceny 5th and received a sentence of unconditional discharge, as well as evidence provided by the state, exhibits A, D, and F, and testimony that was provided today. So that concludes the fact-finding portion of the hearing. Before I make a recommendation, you will have an opportunity to speak to your background and history. This purpose part of the hearing is to help determine what outcome I will recommend. So if you would like to let me know anything about, as was stated, your past history or things you're working on, what are your plans to go back into the community? Now's the time to discuss that.
Yes, ma'am. So I wasn't out for a very long time. I was only out for 75 days, and I did an extended period of time incarcerated. I was locked up, incarcerated at 21 years old, and I got out at 27. And during that time period, I did some programming, the dog program, the true program, and I did a lot of things, but I didn't work on my mental health. And getting out, and after that long period of incarceration, I was institutionalized, and I did obtain employment. I had a part-time job working at Love's Travel Stops. I was working on getting my license. I had a good, stable home to stay in, and I had responsibilities as of taking care of horses. I was working on four-wheelers and dirt bikes, doing stuff that I enjoyed. I was with my family, taking care of them, just trying to do the right thing. But I did lose track, and I did go to Big Y that day, and I took some stuff that didn't belong to me. And after all that time and being incarcerated, I should have known better. I should have known that that was wrong, and I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong, and I still chose to do it. And I don't use substances. I'm not a drug addict. I care about my physical health, but I need to start focusing on my mental health. I need to start seeing why I did that, why I think I can justify that, and why why that's okay, because it's not okay. And I said in the moment it was, because I said, these people are rich. They have insurance, they have a lot of money. I think that I really need this stuff right now. I think that I can take this stuff from the store and it won't hurt them. And that's the wrong mindset to have. You can't have that mindset. It doesn't matter how big or small the item is. It's not yours, so don't take it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. And I still chose on my free will to go into that Big Y in Tallinn in intention. And I knew I went in there and I filled up that cart without intentions on ever paying for anything. And I know that I broke the law, and I know I'm back in prison now, still serving my sentence, for a violation of parole now. And I know I still have some time hanging over my head. And I would really like to, maybe get my parole reinstated if I can in an appropriate time that you guys think. I just really would not like to EOS, because I really do need your guys' help still to reintegrate back into society and have some help with transition, because I don't have probation after. And I know I need some assistance, and I know I'm going to need bigger stipulations, because I got out the first time and I didn't have a curfew. I didn't have any stipulations, as in just leaving the state, clean urines, and not breaking the law. I think I need a little bit more structure and I need a foundation I need to build up. I have a great support system, and I just need to work with them, and I need to get into some type of outpatient program when I get released. As a part of the condition, I need to start seeking mental health treatment, not substance abuse treatment, but mental health treatment, because I'm incarcerated now, and I'm working in medical right now. I'm in the process of maybe getting an A&D job, which is admitting in the property job. And I know I can work. I obtained employment. I would love to do that again. And I really just want to get back out to society if I can and do better. I know I have a lot to offer out there, and I can do the right thing if I figure out what's going on with my mental health, on why I did that, and how I can address those, the word I'm looking for is those, maybe not urges, but those impulses. I need to figure out how I can cope with those, how I can adapt with that, with that problem, and how I can work on it effectively so this doesn't happen again. Because this is my first violation, and I wasn't out for long. And that's really sad, being in jail for 5 years, 8 months, and coming out in 75 days. I was working, I had a great place to live, I had a very good foundation, I had a car when I was ready for it, I had beautiful family, many things to look forward to, and I decided to just throw it away. I did that. I threw it away, and I'm just asking for another chance if possible. And I understand the time being, of it only being 75 days, it looks absolutely crazy, but I just want to say that I didn't run. I showed up to all my visits, like clean urines. I even in the situation when the asset protection guy got in front of me, I left all the belongings. I explained to him, I said, I apologize. I don't want any altercations. I don't want to turn anything into I don't want to run. I know I'm caught, and I want to take accountability for this right now. And I apologized, and I wasn't looking to skip out on parole. I wanted to make sure that I was arrested and taken into custody where I belonged. And that's all I have to say today, ma'am.
Where do you have a sponsor, or are you asking to go to like a halfway house for structure? Or where do you plan on going if you go back out?
If possible, I would prefer a halfway house this time.
What area?
Hartford would be ideal, because that would be closest for employment for me, because I do have a job opportunity at Sunset Valley Construction as a laborer in Ellington, and that would be the easiest commute for me.
Is that full or part-time?
This job is part-time, so I can seek my treatment mental health wise, because I can't commit to full-time right now.
Do you have a place in mind that you want to go to for treatment?
Honestly, I'm thinking I would like to maybe check out CHR or Hockenham Valley in Vernon. but I want to see something that's more mental health based than substance abuse. So I have to really look into that deeply and see what I can, see what benefits me the most. I don't want to just settle. I don't want to just accept that. I want to just figure something out that will actually work for me. I don't want to just go to a program that's going to be in one ear out the other. I have to actually I have to know what's going on with me so I can really address it and figure out my issues.
Well, it sounds like a smart idea. So definitely look into that. Is there anything else you want to say in regards to future plans when you go back out there?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll be right with you then with my recommendation. All right, so I'm gonna put a few things on the record and then I am gonna make a recommendation. Yeah, you were in the community about 2.5 months before you were returned to custody on these new charges. For larceny, theft, which received a new conviction and unconditional discharge. So it is concerning to see the same pattern of behavior and the extent of the criminal history you have for the same type of behavior. So I do encourage you to seek, I mean, I don't know if it's therapy you need. I don't know if it's just, as you say, you need to understand why you're doing things. I agree 100% with that you prioritize that or else you're going to be back here. And you're very lucky that you received an unconditional discharge for the same type of behavior you've been doing for so long. It is extremely concerning. And especially, I don't know how many opportunities you're going to be given if you keep doing the same behavior. You don't want to wind up back there for, another, you were sentenced 7.5 years for similar charges of larcenies, numerous larcenies. You do have the flat sentence, so I do agree with you that you do need some type of structure and supervision. A lot of these things that you've discussed, you're going to have to work on with your officer in the community. We don't stipulate to a lot of things that you've stated that you're looking for, but that doesn't mean you can't look for those things just because it's not a stipulation. So I encourage you to seek the help that you've stated, even though it may not be written on your conditions. You know what you need to do, and I hope that you can do that. Based on the information that I have, as well as statements made today, your officer did recommend at least a 3-month sanction. I am going to recommend that parole be revoked and that you be re-paroled for July 20th of 2026. This is about a form of period confinement as a sanction. I recommend the following parole conditions, which are halfway house placement, no consumption of alcoholic beverages, and mental health evaluation and treatment deemed necessary. I'm going to present this to the parole board on July 2nd. So the board can agree with me and release you on July 20th. They can let you out as July 2nd if they did want to. They can release you. That's the soonest date you can get out. And just know the board can revoke all of your parole at any point in time. You are on supervision till August of 27. So it's still giving you about a year on supervision if they do agree, a little over a year, if they agree with my sanction. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you're going to get this in writing about a week after July 2nd from the board. It's going to say what the board's decision is. If they want to give you a re-parole date, it'll have that date on there. And it will also have your conditions listed as the board votes. So everything I said today is a recommendation. So they'll make the final decision on that day of July 2nd. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you
Yes,
have any
ma'am.
questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, I hope you stick to your plan. And hopefully we won't see you again. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck, sir. You're all set.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
I'm off and on with that.
Yeah, I know.
What do you got here?
That's some stupid thing here.
Good luck.
Get right, you
Good
know.
luck. When you come back?
Week or two. At least there's no new charges.
What's that?
Morning, Osborne. Oh, can you see us?
I can see you and hear you good. Can you
Is
see
Mr. Perez, is that Mr. Perez? Is he there?
Perez is not,
Perez.
he's not here yet.
Perez isn't here yet?
Howard.
Okay, well,
Yes.
I'll see Perez after that. It's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'll be right with you in a second. P.O. Gerard and P.O. Antui, are you both here? Perfect. Okay, I just have to check on the attorney and I'll be right with you.
Question though. What is the purpose of Gerard if I've never met him other than when he
Listen,
slapped
Howard,
handcuffs on me?
They have the right to be here and they have a right to speak today on behalf of the state. So that's the way it is.
I'm
be
just
right
asking
with
a
you.
question because I never.
You can have officers that have worked with you. Any offers pertaining to the case can definitely speak.
I mean, I get if he knew me and he could speak to a character thing, but
Well, that's their. Well, see, hold on a second. Yes, PCS has the right to testify. So I have your attorney here. So we will get started with this preliminary hearing. Is everybody good to go? Good morning, I am P.O. Meister, hearing examiner for the Board of Pardons and Paroles. This is a preliminary hearing concerning Howard Christopher, number 339747. Today is June 17th, 2026. This hearing is being conducted via video with the BOPP Central Office in Osborne Correctional Center. This is a public hearing and public access to the hearing is available via video live stream. Can you please state your full name and DOC inmate number for the record, sir?
Christopher Howard, 339747.
Thank you. We have parole officers present today. Can you both please state your name and title for the record?
Yep, Kwaku Antwi Residential Unit, Waterbury.
Parole Officer Gerard, Waterbury.
Thank you. And we also have counsel here today.
Good morning, Peter Matthews with the Public Defender's Office for Mr. Howard.
This is a preliminary hearing, which is the purpose under Connecticut law to determine if there is probable cause to believe you have been act that violated the conditions of your parole, to determine if the act is sufficiently serious to warrant revocation of your parole, and to determine if you should be held in prison pending further proceedings. The state, not you, has a responsibility to show that there is probable cause to believe you violated one or more conditions of your parole. If I do not find probable cause, I'll reinstate your parole, which is releasing and place you back on parole supervision. If I find probable cause and determine the act is sufficiently serious to warrant revocation, you may be held in prison pending further proceedings. You should know a preliminary hearing is an adversarial proceeding, and you say this hearing can be used against you. This hearing is being recorded. So this is the procedure for today. I'm going to read you your rights. Then we will review the parole violation charge, the state your PO is bringing against you. I will review and identify exhibits filed for the record. The state will then have an opportunity to address the issue of probable cause and the severity of the allegations. After the state is finished, counsel will have the same opportunity. At the conclusion of the hearing, I will inform you my findings, which are based on the available evidence. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
No.
Okay, you have important rights today. Your right to have an attorney present. You have counsel here. You have a right to receive the written notice that charges the violation. Did you receive the written notice?
I did.
Okay. You have a right to review the evidence against you before the hearing. You have a right to submit evidence in support of your case. At the hearing, you have a right to call and examine voluntary witnesses and cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights and are you ready to go forward?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will now review the charge, the state your PO is bringing against you, and the information underlying each charge. So, state, if you could please read the charges.
So the first charge is going to be residence on 5/20/2026, approximately 5:32 p.m. You departed your only approved residence located at 31 Wilcott Street in Waterbury, Connecticut, the Renaissance Halfway House without permission or approval. Your whereabouts in the community were unknown until RSU officers and Waterbury police apprehended you at your girlfriend's residence in Waterbury, Connecticut on 5/22/26. Charge 2 is halfway house placement. On 5/19/2026 at approximately 7:20 p.m., you were issued a residence East Halfway House community pass for St. Mary's Hospital after requested to seek medical attention to obtain seizure medication. On 5/20/2026, at approximately 12:16 a.m., you returned back to the halfway house and failed to provide staff with documentation verifying that you went to the hospital as directed. Subsequently, staff contacted St. Mary's Hospital, and you were advised there was no record that you were seen or treated at that location. Your whereabouts in the community were unknown from 5/19/2026 at 7:20 p.m. until 5/20/2026 at 12:16 a.m. A total of 4 hours 15 minutes. This is a violation of your halfway house agreement, which states I will only go to locations indicated on my approved community pass unless changes have been authorized by staff, and I will return to the halfway house from my community pass as scheduled at my scheduled return time. If I am unable to do so, I will call the program staff to explain why I'm expected to be late and receive a new return time. On 5/20/2026 at approximately 5:32 p.m., you departed your parole for residence located at 31 Wolcott Street in Waterbury, Connecticut. The residence East Halfway House without permission or approval. Your whereabouts in the community were unknown until RSU officers in Waterbury Police apprehended your girlfriend's house in Waterbury, Connecticut. This is a violation. In the event I'm placed in a halfway house, I agree to go directly to the residence in the facility designated by the Parole and Community Services Division until released by Parole Community Services Division. I will abide by the written rules of the facility. I will not leave the physical confines or the facility or the property therefore for traveling to and from work, or as authorized by the facility or Parole Community Services Division's rules. During my stay, I will pay fees to the facility as required. I will not operate any more vehicle that I have used without permission from the facility or the Parole Community Services Division. I understand that I'm not allowed to consume or possess alcohol at the facility.
Thank you. And the state has filed the following exhibits that are pre-marked for identification as Exhibit A, notice of parole violation; B, notice of parole rights; C, parole violation report; D, agreement actual custody; E, parole signed conditions 5/19/26; F, parole halfway house agreement form 5/19/26; G, parole signed conditions 5/20/26; H, signed misconduct untenable in the community 5/19/26; I, Renaissance East Incident Report 5/19/26; J, Renaissance East Incident Report 5/20/26; K, decision information summary; and L is previous parole violation summaries. Did you receive the notice of parole violation report, and those other documents that I marked? Did you review them?
I did.
Do you need to continue this hearing to obtain any additional evidence?
I do not.
We have no witnesses today. At this time, the state is going to have an opportunity to make a short statement, call witnesses to testify with respect to probable cause and the severity of the allegations. So the testimony in today's hearing will be taken under oath. I am going to swear in both P.O. Intui and P.O. Gerard, as well as you, Mr. Howard, in the event you would like to speak at all today. So can you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or sincerely affirm, as the case may be, the evidence you shall give concerning this case be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, so at this time is the state's opportunity. If you'd like to say anything in regards to probable cause and the severity of the allegations at this time, you may.
Not at this time.
Well, this will be the only time. Because it's a prelim.
Okay. So I believe, based on the charges, charge 1 and charge 2, the offender should not be released back to the community. The offender does have a long history of noncompliance, and he's received multiple opportunities for treatment, opportunities as far as IOP. Also charged here as well to testify to the fact that he has personally made statements that he will not reside in the halfway house, and as so has absconded numerous times from the halfway house, and has made statements previously he's not going to stay in a halfway house even if placed.
I've never made that statement.
Hold on, this is not your turn to speak, Mr. Howard. It'll be your turn when they're all done. So you can continue, P.O. and Tui, if you like.
Thank you. No, I'm finished. Thank you.
P.O.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak real quick. So when I went and picked up Mr. Howard from Osborne facility last month, and we were driving on the way for me to drop him off at Renaissance East,
Like, hold on
he
one
had
second.
said that
Hold on, P.O. Jordan, 1 second. What are you objecting to?
pretty much, I'll summarize what he
Can you
said.
hear me?
Everyone that
I
what
don't
was
think
that?
you hear me. Can you wait 1 second? He's objecting to something. I just want, what are you?
This is pertaining to the process failure. These are the allegations contained in the process failure. This isn't in the evidence here. This isn't relevant to the violation. I just don't think it's relevant at this point in time.
Well, I'm not understanding what he's
testifying as to what happened during the process failure case when he was apprehended earlier in the month during a process failure.
Is it at all related to what's happening today?
No,
Or what-
what I was gonna mention
Go ahead. I
was,
do want to hear what you have to say and how it's related, if it.
yeah, the day that I picked him up from Osborne and brought him to Renaissance East Halfway House. He had made the statement that
This
I
time?
do not want to reside in a halfway house. Everyone that asks me, I tell them I do not want to go to a halfway house. I will run. And I spoke with him and said, listen, look at this as a fresh start. You're going to Renaissance East. You only have 2 years left on supervision. You can get into a scattered site bed. You could get a job. We could look into getting you a parole apartment type thing. And he said, no. He said, I have no problem being on the run for another 2 years until I end of sentence.
Okay. Is there anything else from the state? Before I turn it over to council?
I'm sorry, can you turn yours up?
Yep.
I don't have my speakers working.
I'm sorry, please repeat that.
I said, is there anything else further from the state before I turn it over to council?
Not this time, no.
Okay. Turn it over to council.
Mr. Howard, are you willing to be placed in a halfway house?
Absolutely, and I never told Gerard that I wasn't.
Okay, so.
I said I don't like them. I didn't say I wasn't willing. There's a difference.
Thank you. So, Mr. Howard, can you tell me a little bit about what happened at the halfway house on May 20th with regard to your belongings prior to you going to your girlfriend's?
Well, I can repeat to you exactly what I told Antwi, which Antwi said he was going to put in a report, which he never did. I told him my things were stolen. I reported this to the staff. They checked the cameras, verified it was stolen. He said he checked with the staff, yet he never put that in the report.
So
her name's Latoya, Letitia, whatever it is.
But you did attempt to address this issue.
About $85 to $90 of stuff were stolen out of the office. I was told to leave it in when I went to the hospital. Which, if memory serves correct, they're supposed to lock it. Somebody walking out with a big bag of stuff should be seen relatively easy. Now, they were unable to find this because they waited a whole day to find it.
All right.
I stayed there, I paced for about an hour and a half, and I got overly mad. And instead of doing something stupid, I walked away. Yes, that was the wrong thing to do. But I didn't do my usual routine to just run.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Howard. So
I was actually trying to stay this time.
I think what happened was he got very frustrated. He indicated his belongings were stolen. It was not the first time it had happened. He indicated he did try to report to the staff. He did try to address it at the halfway house. His frustration got the better of him, and he did go to his girlfriend's. I would argue, however, there's insufficient evidence to establish a finding on charge 1. The allegation is that he was found at his girlfriend's residence, but it was like the next day. So given the brief period that he was there, the fact that there was no evidence presented with regard to his intent to permanently reside there, as opposed to the halfway house, I don't think there should be a finding with regard to the residence with charge 1. With regard to charge 2, with regard to the hospital first, I would just stress he was out on a pass. He did ultimately return to the halfway house that day on the 19th. He has just been re-released special parole. I don't think there's evidence here that he intended to abscond or that he refused to work with parole. I don't think enough time had passed to come to those conclusions. He is willing to work with parole. I understand he's frustrated. I understand he's angry. I understand he didn't want to be at a halfway house, but he does understand he needs to be at a halfway house, and he will go to a halfway house. Given the nature of these violations, the very brief period of time that passed before he was violated, I would argue it's not serious enough to warrant revocation. I think he should be given an opportunity to try to develop some sort of a longer track record and re-engage with treatment and supervision.
If I'm back in a halfway house, I want to go to Antweeds.
Is there anything else you want to say before we're done here, Mr. Howard?
If I'm back in a halfway house, I want to go back to Antweeds because he had a conversation with me in a car.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, we're not at that point right now. Is there anything else from the state before I announce my findings?
No, ma'am.
Oh, man.
Okay. So I'll be right with you with my findings. All right, so I am going to announce my findings. So in regards to charge one condition, the restriction residence, I make a no finding of probable cause based on the charge not meeting the elements. Regarding charge two, I do make a finding of probable cause, restriction halfway house placement, additional condition halfway house placement. This is based on the evidence presented in support of the violation, Exhibit C and E through J. I have determined the acts are serious enough to warrant revocation. I've determined you should detain while you wait for revocation hearing. At the rev hearing, myself or another hearing examiner will determine if you violated conditions of your parole. If so, the hearing examiner will make recommendations regarding whether parole is to be revoked or if any sanctions should be imposed. So this is a technical violation, so we will schedule you for that.
Which one is charge two, if you don't mind my asking, since that's.
Halfway house placement. There was two charges, so it's halfway house placement. So we'll bring you back, determine if there's a violation or not. Obviously, you know, we have 16 business days from your return to custody.
I know.
So we will schedule that and bring you back, determine if there's a violation or not. So we will see you shortly. POs, are you guys participating in the rep hearing as well?
We will be, yes.
Okay. All right. So you guys are all set for today. Thank you, Mr. Howard. We'll see you shortly, soon.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank you. Good day.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
They sent email Perez to Chow. I don't know why they do that. So
okay.
I'm still waiting for him.
Okay. Well, I'll wait.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I would have to go over it. All right.
Yeah, we'll go on.
Okay, I need to know what's happening with Perez. Okay. Number 45374. Okay, for me, please, but then waiting. No, that's not on him, that's on the officer that sent this child, and I told him not to. All right.
What's up, man? Yeah. Yeah, I got it. I'm waiting up for a prelim hearing to start.
Okay, he's at the gate right now,
So
coming down.
yeah, I got
Thank you.
I'm waiting on this guy to start his prelim here, interstate case.
Yo, Davis, just so you know,
All
I
right.
can hear you.
All right, bye. Oh,
Walker.
my mic is still on there. Sorry about that.
No, I just want to let you know that you were on.
I appreciate it.
We should be starting hopefully in a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
He's here.
Thank you. Mr. Perez,
Yes,
good morning.
morning.
We're here today for your preliminary hearing, so we're going to get started with that. Good morning, I am P.O. Meitzger, a hearing examiner for the Board of Pardons and Paroles. This is a preliminary hearing concerning Perez Wilfredo, number 453740. Today is June 17th, 2026. This hearing is being conducted via video at the BOPP Central Office in Osborne Correctional Institution. Can you please state your full name and DOC inmate number for the record, sir?
Wilfredo Perez, 453740.
Thank you. Your parole officer present. Can you please identify yourself for the record?
Parole Officer Patrick Davis. I work out of the Hartford District Office.
Thank you. This is a preliminary hearing, which the purpose of Connecticut law is to determine if there is probable cause to believe you commit an act that violated the conditions of your parole and should determined to be held in prison pending further proceedings. The state, not you, has a responsibility to show there's probable cause to believe you violated one or more conditions of your parole. If I do not find probable cause, I'll reinstate your parole since at least you place you back on parole supervision. If I find probable cause and determine the act is sufficiently serious to warrant revocation, you may be held in prison pending further proceedings. Please note you've been referred by the DOC for diversion for substance abuse programming and treatment. If by the end of the hearing I determine you should be held in prison pending further proceedings, I will provide additional information about the diversion process. I do want to note this is an interstate case coming from the state of Massachusetts. So in the event that TOP would not be completed, revocation proceedings would not occur due to that. So you should know a preliminary hearing is an adversarial proceeding. Anything you say at this hearing can be used against you. This hearing is being recorded. This is the procedure for the hearing. I'm going to read you your rights. Then we will review the parole violation charge. The state your appeal is bringing against you. I will review and identify exhibits filed for the record. The state will then have an opportunity to address the issue of probable cause, the severity of the allegations. After the state is finished, you will have the same opportunity. At the conclusion of the hearing, I will inform you my findings, which are based on the available evidence. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
No.
Okay, you have important rights today. Your right to have an attorney present. Would you like to continue without counsel?
Yes.
Okay, you have a right to receive the written notice of charges of violation. Did you receive the written notice?
Yes.
You have a right to review the evidence against you before the hearing. You have a right to submit evidence in support of your case at the hearing. You have a right to call and examine voluntary witnesses and cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights and are you ready to go forward?
Yes.
So we now review the charge the state appeal is bringing against you and the information underlying each charge. Appeal Davis, please read the charges.
Sure. All right, charges. Charge number 1, on or around 2/3/20, you use cocaine. CT violation number 2, obey all laws. I will not use, have in my possession or control any illegal drug, narcotic, or drug paraphernalia. MA violation number 1, I will obey all local, state, and federal laws and conduct myself in the manner of a responsible citizen. MA violation number 8, special conditions, supervised for drugs, testing and ordinance with agency policy. Charge number 2, on or around 3/10/26, use cocaine. CT violation number 2, obey all laws. I will not use, have in my possession or control any illegal drug, narcotic, or drug paraphernalia. MA condition number 1, I will obey all state and federal laws and conduct myself in the manner of a responsible citizen. MA violation number 8, special condition, supervised for drugs, testing and ordinance with agency policy. Charge number 3, on or around 5/5/26, use cocaine. CT violation number 2, obey all laws. I will not use, have in my possession or control any illegal drug, narcotic, or drug paraphernalia. MA violation number 1, I will obey all local, state, and federal laws and conduct myself in a manner of a responsible citizen. MA violation number 8, special conditions, supervised for drugs, testing, and ordinance with agency policy. Charge number 4, on or around 5/12/26, use cocaine. CT violation number 2, obey all laws. I will not use, have in my possession or control any illegal drug, narcotic, or drug paraphernalia. MA violation number 1, I will obey all local, state, and federal laws and conduct myself in a manner of a responsible citizen. MA violation number 8, special conditions, supervised for drugs, testing, and ordinance with agency policy. On or around 5/26/26, you use cocaine. CT violation, obey all laws. I will not use, have in my possession or control any illegal drug, narcotic, or drug paraphernalia. MA violation number 1, I will obey all local, state, and federal laws and conduct myself in the manner of a responsible citizen. MA violation number 8, special condition, supervised for drugs, testing and ordinance with agency policy. On or around 10/14/25, 10/28/25, 11/4/25, 11/11/25, 11/17/25, 11/24/25, 12/1/25, and 3/5/26. You use cocaine. CT violation, obey all laws. I will not use, have in my possession, or control any illegal drug, narcotic, or drug paraphernalia. MA violation number 1, I will obey all local, state, and federal laws and conduct myself in a manner of a responsible citizen. MA violation number 8, special condition, supervised for drugs, testing and ordinance with agency policy.
Thank you.
welcome.
I just wanted to note, when I do announce my findings, I have categorized all these under one charge, under charge 1, obey all laws, drugs. So when I announce my findings, I'm going to be speaking to all that was just put on the record, but under one charge of charge 1, drugs. Just
Sorry,
so,
yeah.
just so you're aware, that's how I'm going to restructure it, just so it all.
Yeah, it was my first interstate PVR, so.
No, it's good. I'm just gonna do it so that way we could just do refer to one charge.
Yep.
So thank you. And the state
You're
has filed the following exhibits that are marked for identification as Exhibit A, which is remand of custody. Order B is signed parole condition, CT and math. C, notice of parole violation. D, parole violation report. E, premier biotoxicology report dated 2/3/26. F, misconduct dated 2/13/26. G, premier biotoxicology report dated 5/5/26. H, misconduct dated 5/12/26. I, premier biotoxicology report dated 5/14/26. J, misconduct dated 5/26/26. K, premier biotoxicology report dated 5/26/26. And L is an email from probation. And did you receive the notice of parole violation report, and those other documents that I just marked? And did you review them, sir?
Yes.
Do you need to continue this hearing to obtain any additional evidence?
No.
We have no witnesses today. At this time, just so you know, testimony today's hearing will be taken under oath. So I am going to swear in P.O. Davis as well as you, Mr. Perez, in the event you would like to speak today. Can you both please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear and solemnly affirm, as the case may be, the evidence you shall give concerning this case should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Yes.
So at this time, the state will have an opportunity, if you'd like to make a short statement, call witnesses, or testify with respect to probable cause and the severity of the allegations. You may at this time, if you'd like to say anything in regards to the charge.
I'm just very, very concerned with Mr. Perez's cocaine usage. You know, we tried a lot of options. He went to the App Foundation for 30 days in April. And when he got out, the use immediately continued. I put him on intensive weekly supervision with urines every week or UAs every week, and it still continued. He's duly supervised as well by Hartford Probation. They actually made a DCF referral on Mr. Perez because of his drug usage and the three minor kids in the home. So at the conclusion of this diversionary program or TOP program, Mr. Perez is going to need a halfway house bed to get him to his end of sentence, which I'm seeing here is 11/3/2026. I just hope he takes this program seriously, and I just wish him luck in the future.
Thank you for your statements. Mr. Perez, now is your opportunity to respond to the parole violation charges against you. I remember that you may remain silent if you so choose. Would you like to respond to the charges?
I just want to say I'm sorry. I did mess up. That's about it.
Right, thank you. I've noted the statements from both parties. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to announce my findings in regards to the charge. So in regards to that charge 1, I do make a finding of probable cause on obey all laws drugs. This is based on evidence that was presented in support of the violation of parole, which is exhibits B, E, F, G, L, H, as well as testimony that was provided today. I do make a no finding on the following dates due to there being insufficient evidence to support the charge. Those are the dates of 3/10/26, 5/12/26, and 5/26/26. I do find the act was serious enough to warrant revocation. DOC has recommended you for diversion from the revocation process for substance abuse programming and treatment. This means if you wish to participate, apply, and I find you meet the criteria, I can continue your case while you provide an opportunity to participate in the substance abuse programming and treatment in the correctional facility. If you successfully complete the programming that you provided, I will dismiss your case and order your parole reinstated.
Okay,
So the decision to participate in the diversion is voluntary. Do you understand the diversion process and do you want to apply for it?
I'm already in it.
So is that a yes?
Yes,
Okay, so I will now announce my findings with respect to your eligibility. If I determine you are eligible, I can accept your application and divert you from revocation. So I have reviewed all the relevant information. My finding is as follows. I find that you have no pending misdemeanor or felony charges. I find that your discharge date is more than 60 business days from your return to custody. I find there's evidence that you have identified substance abuse treatment needs. I find that substance abuse is reasonably considered to be a motivating factor in your alleged failure to comply with the terms and conditions of parole. And I find that there is some evidence that you received or provided with an opportunity to receive substance abuse programming or treatment during your period of parole supervision in the community. So I have determined you are eligible for diversion for the top program. Before I accept your application for diversion, I ask you indicate whether you understand the following by answering yes or no. I understand I will remain incarcerated while I receive programming and treatment, and that parole proceedings may be delayed as a result. You won't, and just so you're aware, as I stated before, you will not have rev hearing because you're incoming from the state of Mass. So we would, if you don't complete this, we would refer your case over to Massachusetts to deal with your release, okay?
yes,
Okay, so I understand the dismissal of my case and reinstatement to active parole supervision is not guaranteed. It is conditioned upon my successful completion of the top program.
yes,
I understand that ultimately the DOC will determine whether I have successfully completed this substance abuse programming and treatment provided.
yes,
I understand that my participation in this process is completely voluntary.
yes,
Okay, so your application for diversion is granted. Obviously, you said you're already in it, so that's great. You're placed in it for no more than 60 business days. So upon your completion of it, we will be notified. Well, your officer will be notified and will let us know. We will reinstate your parole as long as you complete it successfully and you stay out of trouble in the facility. Do you have any questions?
no,
Okay, good luck, sir. Hopefully you get something out of the program. You do well when you get back out there, okay?
all right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, T.O. Davis. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much.